Hello and welcome back to the Wasteland, everybody. Welcome back to Fallout 3, where today we're going to be ranking all of the drinks on our tier list here. There's not as many drinks as there was food, and luckily at least the drinks are a little bit more different than a lot of the food. Sadly, a lot of the food in Fallout 3 was kind of normal, or at least the same-ish, because all of them were like, you get 3 radiation, you get 5 healing. They all weigh 1. Nothing way crazy there. The drinks at least have some extra bonuses to them, and they kind of tend to be better food in a lot of cases, or at least better healing, than the other foods that we do get throughout the Wasteland, with a couple exceptions. So we're going to have our same tier lists here, although this time we have a different tier at the bottom, just called dog water. This is the worst tier of drinks. And then we also have another tier list over here of would I drink it, maybe, or no way. So let's talk about each of these. We're just going to go down the list in alphabetical order, and very first up is Aqua Cura. So Aqua Cura is aqua pura that was dumped out or drank and then filled up with dirty water so that it could be sold to ghouls so that they could regrow their hair and stay young and strong and whatever other salesman pitch you would like to tell them. This is a thing that only shows up in Broken Steel after you've already completed the main quest, and this is when you go to the Museum of History. There is a ghoul con artist out there trying to get the other ghouls to buy his amazing Aqua Cura that will fix every single problem with you. It's basically just dirty water though. So this has plus 6 radiation, plus 10 health, unless you have the food sanitizer, in which case it's plus 12 health. This one is pretty bad. You don't really want to be drinking this, so it's going to go into the dog water tier. As to whether or not I would drink it, and I haven't rearranged these yet, this one I would say no way. Dirty water with high radiation in it is not worth it, especially since this is supposed to take place after the Brotherhood has already taken Project Purity and Aqua Pura is all around, which is just clean water. It's going to be a hard sell on fixing my whatever the heck is wrong with me in the Wasteland before I end up drinking somebody's magic elixir. Although, funny enough, there is a magic elixir in Fallout Tactics, which does actually give you plus 1 endurance, so might be willing to risk it if I had that knowledge ahead of time. Next up, we've got Aqua Pura. This is the pure form of water. Funny enough, it's actually worth less than the Aqua Cura, and this is just clean water. So this is the same as Purified water in terms of stats, however the name is a little bit different, and usually you get a whole lot of it whenever you're searching containers. This is just the Brotherhood's brand of water, pretty much. So this one weighs 1, and it gives you 20 HP. There is no downside to this, unless you got the food sanitizer, in which case it's 24 HP. That still isn't a downside. It's still really good. So Aqua Pura is going to have to go up into the Wasteland Classic. You're definitely going to want to grab this, and grabbing this for the health bonus is pretty good. You can get some value out of this without having to use your stim packs, so that's pretty nice. And as to whether or not I would drink Aqua Pura, yeah, absolutely. It's purified water. There's nothing really else to say. It's just water. It's going to be good. Up next, we've got beer. Beer is probably one of the most common liquors that you can find in the Wasteland, and beer weighs 1. It has a low value of 2. This one gives you plus 1 charisma, minus 1 intelligence, plus 1 strength for 4 minutes. You also can get addicted to this as well as all the other alcohols. However, beer is one of the lower ones. Beer is actually really good, and I'm going to put it up into the Wasteland Classic because it's not bad to have this on your person, either for the 10 extra carry weight that you can get from that plus 1 strength, or the plus 1 charisma so that you can pass certain speech or barter checks, which is really nice. It can also be good just for getting better deals, and with the addiction rate being as low as it is, it's very unlikely that you're going to be addicted to this, as opposed to some of the other liquors that you can get. As well as it doesn't cost as much as the other liquors, so carrying a couple of these around on you is good for getting extra deals or having a little bit extra carry weight, where you can just keep the other liquors to sell them for extra money because they're worth quite a bit. So yeah, that one is pretty good. Up next, we have Dirty Water. Dirty Water is the same as our Aqua Cura, where it weighs 1, it gives you 6 radiation, and it gives you 10 HP, or 12 HP with the sanitizer. This one's also going to go to the dog water. Technically, this is better than like half of the foods that we talked about on the food tier list. But it's not way crazy. It doesn't give you all that much, and you would want to have purified water over dirty water, just so that you don't have to worry about the radiation, although radiation isn't such a big deal in Fallout 3, but it's kind of nice to not have it. As for, I didn't put the beer on here. Would I drink the beer? Probably in a situation like the apocalypse. I don't think beer would be all that bad, and it wouldn't get you... at least hopefully you wouldn't get super drunk off of it. Hopefully you would drink responsibly in the Wasteland, because all sorts of bad things could happen if you're, not doing that. So I feel like this would be the least alcoholic of the group. Yeah, definitely. Out of the ones that we do have. Dirty water. No, I am not drinking dirty water. Well, I mean, If I had a choice between this and anything else, then yeah, probably not drinking dirty water. If it's you don't have anything to drink and you have dirty water, this doesn't have a ton of radiation in it, so I would go for that, and it wouldn't come with the weird... I mean, this is technically dirty water too. It's just I wouldn't trust somebody selling me a miracle elixir to not lace it with something else, so dirty water, at least I could assume, is dirty water. Then we've got the holy water. The holy water doesn't actually have any value. It weighs 1, and this one is more irradiated water than dirty water. This one gives you plus 15 rads, but it does give you plus 20 HP or plus 24 HP if you have the food sanitizer. So it's just as good in terms of healing as purified water, but it's about 3 times as bad as drinking dirty water. These are only in a couple of locations. It's really only at one location that you find, also in Broken Steel. This is actually at the very first place that you walk through in Fallout 3, right outside of Vault 101, where there is kind of a cult that is set up and irradiated their water even more so that you can get the power of Adam. No, not gonna drink that. And yeah, also no way of actually drinking it. It's not very good. They're kind of cool items to keep as like souvenirs, but that's about the only thing that they have going for them. Other than that, you wouldn't want to drink them for the actual heals. And then we have the Ice Cold Nuka-Cola. Ice Cold Nuka-Cola gives you 3 radiation, plus 20 HP, and 1 bottle cap, or 24 HP with the food sanitizer. Ice Cold Nuka-Cola you could only really get from your vending machine. However, you can get, I think, an unlimited amount of this so long as you're willing to wait. So this one is pretty cool. You just don't usually have very much of it, at least I don't. So I'm going to put it up in Wasteland Classic. It's pretty good. And as for if I would drink Ice Cold Nuka-Cola, yes, absolutely. I would be curious as to what Nuka-Cola tastes like. I'm assuming it's like Coca-Cola, which is okay. It's not my favorite drink, but I mean, I'd be willing to try it because maybe there's something different about this. And I mean, we even get bottle caps out of this, so that's kind of cool. We get some of our money back at least. Up next, we've got Moonshine. Moonshine weighs more than anything else here. It weighs 2 weight as opposed to pretty much everything else weighing 1 weight. This one does have more alcohol effects on it than the other ones though. So this is plus 2 charisma, minus 2 intelligence, plus 2 strength for 4 minutes, but it has the highest addiction rate out of any of the drinks that you can have. Moonshine I'd probably put in the passable. It's kind of useful for getting that plus 20 extra carry weight, assuming that you're not already maxed out on strength or you don't have like 9 strength, in which case any of the other drinks would also give you the same. And the plus 2 charisma does get you better deals and maybe pass a skill check, so that is kind of nice, but with it having such a high addiction rate, and really the only way you can get cured from your addiction is either going to a doctor or having your own personal doctor at your house fix you up. Yeah, I'm just going to put it in passable. It is worth a lot, though. It's worth the most out of any of these for some odd reason. As to whether or not I would drink Moonshine, maybe, given the situation. I don't know. I've never had Moonshine. I don't think I really want to have Moonshine. I've heard it's incredibly strong, and I don't really drink, so it probably wouldn't be for me, but, I mean, could be very useful in the Wasteland. It could definitely be used for other things like a disinfectant or maybe some other things. If there's no like clean drinking water, it would be something. Assuming that I couldn't also boil the water, but yeah, I don't know, maybe. Regular Nuka-Cola gives you plus 2 radiation and plus 10 HP. This one is okay. Nuka-Cola I'm just going to say is passable. You do get a bottle cap out of it, which is kind of cool. And it is kind of the staple drink of the Wasteland. It's better than a lot of the food. But it's not quite as good as some of these other things, like the Ice Cold Nuka-Cola heals you for a lot more, the beer has more utility, and like the clean waters give you better healing anyway. So I wouldn't say it's better over those. It is better than most of the foods though. In terms of would I drink Nuka-Cola, again, I would be curious about it. It wouldn't be as good if it wasn't cold, but I mean, in the Wasteland, bakers can't be choosers, so you gotta drink what you gotta drink, and if it's survived this long, yeah, I'd be willing to see what it's like. And then we have Nuka-Cola Quantum, which Nuka-Cola Quantum gives you 6 radiation and doesn't give you any healing, but it does give you plus 20 to your action points. That's pretty good. I'm going to put this up into Wasteland Classic. It is also used for a quest. You have to give it to Sierra if you want to complete her quest. You have to give her quite a lot of these, and they are limited, so you can't find tons of them unless you get the Quantum Chemist perk, in which case then you can convert regular Nuka-Colas into the Quantums. You can also use these as grenades if you want to turn them into the Nuka grenades, which is probably the best thrown explosive in the game, so that's kind of nice. As well as just 20 action points is pretty good. That is really nice since VATS is very strong in Fallout 3. As to whether or not I would drink it, Yeah, I would probably try Quantum. I would be the most curious about it because it's supposed to be very different from regular Nuka-Cola. I guess the only side effect would be the thing that Sierra tells you where next time you go to the bathroom, it's probably going to glow blue. So that would be probably an alarming experience if you weren't aware that was going to happen. If you did know, then it would be interesting if nothing else, I guess. Purified water is the exact same as Aqua Pura, although this is actually worth more, weirdly enough. But this is just plus 20 HP. This is really good. You definitely want this. It's one of the best healing items in the game that's not stim packs. Like this and like the soft shell Mirelurk are some of the best. That way you could stock up on those if you don't want to be using up your stim packs. The regular Mirelurk meat is pretty good too. And then the rest of the stuff you could sell or just skip over entirely if you don't want to deal with it. This is just nice extra food. And also, would I drink water? Yes, I would drink water. That would be an easy one. Just purified water is purified water. Then we move on to the rest of our liquors down here where we've got Scotch up next. Now, all of these actually do the same thing. However, some of them are worth more and worth less, as well as they have different addiction rates. So we have Scotch, vodka, whiskey, and wine. All of these weigh 1. 2 of these, being the Scotch and the whiskey, are worth less than the vodka and the wine. These 2 are worth 10 caps. These 2 are worth 20 caps, so you do get better values out of them. Either way, they're worth an okay amount for actually just selling them. Not quite as much as some other drinks, like the moonshine. The moonshine's worth 50, so it's worth quite a bit. All of these give you plus 1 charisma, minus 1 intelligence, and plus 1 strength for 4 minutes. Again, all of them have addiction rates to them as well, so I would put all of these up into the passable. I generally don't drink any of these in the game just because you can sell them for a decent amount of money. It's a pretty good money maker in the early and mid game. If you just find these lying around, you might as well keep them. But you probably don't really need to drink them when the beers exist, and the beers are only worth 2 caps. So you can just use these for anything that you would otherwise have, and they have the least amount of the addiction rate. As well as something like Moonshine is better than all of these. You do need to go to Point Lookout to get it, so you do have to go to an entirely different DLC. But that could still be better than any of these other alcohols here, so they would all go up here. As to whether or not I would drink them, again, they would all probably go to the maybe tier. I don't drink that much in real life, hardly ever, so I don't think I would really enjoy drinking these unless, again, there's just no clean water, in which case you just drink what you got, you know? So yeah, they would probably go there. Actually, both of our lists are looking kind of similar. I guess there's a few more things that I'd be willing to try than are actually decent in the game. But the drinks are pretty straightforward in Fallout 3. There is at least a decent amount of variety to these as opposed to like the foods, where the foods were very much the same. Tell me your thoughts on the drinks in Fallout 3. What do you think of each of them? Which one is your favorite? And which one would you be most likely to drink? I think mine would be the Nuka-Cola Quantum. Even though I know the side effects, it would be the most different out of these because so many of these are actually kind of normal. This one is not. Thank you guys so very much for watching this. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.